I've noticed this more in America. A lot of people, they kind of make excuses. They, because society has this so we live in a racist society, and we live in a society where things aren't really in our favor, is how people always, they always talk about how the system doesn't work for us and all that. You know what? If you're going to just be stuck with that mindset and you think that things should be handed out to you, then you're going to be stuck. But if you shift your mindset and you change your mindset to say, hey, America, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect nation, but there are so many opportunities here for me to grow. And there are so many opportunities here for me to make something out of myself and become whoever I want to be. Then, your mindset has shifted and the results will be different. And I think a lot of times our enemies aren't really people. They're more feelings and fear. Like, I feel like fear is a lot of times it's our enemy, and we try our best to make excuses because it justifies why we're lazy or why we're not going out there and making use of our opportunities. And sometimes I hear a lot of people saying, like, the culture, I get it. The culture, there are certain things that sets us back, but to a certain extent, at some point, if you're not progressing because of your culture, at that point, you're just not loving yourself enough to break out of that,
or take responsibility for your life.
Take responsibility and just take accountability and become whoever you want to be. And I think, that's why mindset is so important, because depending on how you ask yourself and how you live your life and shifting your mindset, that will determine the outcome and the results of your life. So it's easy to just sit here and make excuses of why I'm not going to go to work, or why I am not going to finish something, or say like, oh man, the culture, that's the easy thing to do, but the harder thing to do is say, hey, look, this sucks, but I'm going to change my mindset about it, and I'm going to make things happen, not just for myself, but for the future generation, for my children, to live a better life. So that's why I think mindset is important.
So what is something that you had to unlearn from our culture as far as mindset wise, so you can propel yourself?
Something I had to unlearn, I think that's a good question. I think just like caring so much about what people think. I think I remember at a point in my life, my younger days, like by the time I hit my 20s, it's different. But I remember thinking, like, what would this person think of me if I did this? What would because growing up Tongan, you're always like, you always hear people saying like, or something, So that's kind of like, that's when you're holding yourself back from becoming who you really want to be, or expressing yourself the real way you want to be, like people pleasing. Like if you're...
Oh, got you. Yep.
Yeah, like people pleaser, and also not just people pleasing, but also caring about what other people think, which is a form of people pleasing, because, if you worry about what other people think, you're trying to please them. And at the end of the day, it's like, when you think about it, you have to unlearn those things and not worry about what Mele and Sani are saying, or, whoever.
Why you gotta do Mele like that? Damn, that's messed up. Mele and Sani, what's wrong? Damn, put Mele and Sani on blast.
Mele is actually my first name.
Damn. So. For all the Mele and Sanis out there, apologize. We just put you all in one category.
One of my best friends, her name is Melissa. Yeah, but yeah, that's funny.
No, just messing with you. Continue.
Like what I said, just learning to not really care and worry about what other people think. And I think I live by myself, so I think that helps a lot, is like just being in tune with my own spirit and my own mind makes a huge difference. Sometimes you just have to go live by yourself, so you don't hear any noise or anything. This is not specific but to me but to anyone out there. I think it's super important to in progressing and developing to who you really want to become. I think it's important to have that time for yourself to just find out who you really are, because that's super important. Sometimes when you're living with a lot of people a lot of the times, or you're surrounded by the same stuff, you end up being part of group thinking, and at some point that can be detrimental to your self-growth. So
yeah.
So to go live by yourself at some point.